What is good, everybody out there in the land of podcasting and listeners of podcasts? I had something where I was going with it and then I lost it, so I'm trying to do it right now on the fly. So join me as I try and stumble my way through this intro. We are, as always, your split screen cynics. I am 1/3 of your cynical hosting trio. My name is Berto, and I invite you all once again to join us on our virtual video gaming couch where we talk about video games and all the things we love about them and all the things we hate about them, but still hate to love them. It's a love-hate relationship. You'll get that a lot. Um, Joining me, as always, are two of the coolest dudes I have the pleasure of knowing. Uh, to my left and slightly front, Garrett. Garrett, how are you?
I am good. I got myself a big old drink, so I'm good.
That
Whatever.
Hey, when you get yourself a big old drink, you always do fine with that in my book. So tops to me or you or me, whatever.
Tops to somebody.
Next to Garrett on the screen to the bottom right of my Google Hangouts is Tim. Tim, how you doing?
All things considered, I'm doing all right. I turned 30 yesterday, so
Oh, dude, happy birthday!
I'm
Thank
actually
you.
mad that I didn't know it was your birthday. Although I'm not mad
I
because,
try to keep it stealthy.
and I'm also not on Facebook, and I don't even know if you're on Facebook. And I feel like if you're not on Facebook, nobody knows your birthday
Yeah.
anymore.
The only reason anybody wishes you a happy birthday outside of like immediate family and like spouses is because of Facebook. The only reason I wish my friend Paul a happy birthday was because Facebook said it's Paul's birthday.
Dude, shout
Paul,
out to
happy
Paul.
birthday.
Happy birthday, bro.
Yeah.
So if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't like. I have no idea. I've completely outsourced memorizing people's birthdays to Mark Zuckerberg. So Zucks, good on you.
There
One
you
less thing
go.
I have to worry about.
But yeah, Tim, happy birthday.
Happy
Thank you.
birthday!
I'm going to be
Tim.
30 in April. So
Treasure it while it lasts.
if I make it.
Dude, getting to this side, getting to the other side of 30 isn't that bad. Take it from someone who's
That's what everyone says. I've been getting that like constantly. They're like, "Oh yeah, 30's fine. Like just
Yeah,
50,
I mean,
not so much."
well, Berto's like 42 now, I think. 43.
no.
Oh.
I'm 33 going on 40.
There you go. But the body of like an 18-year-old, so at least you're doing good there.
Hey, I have to do something for it, right?
I'm falling apart at the seams. It's not
You know, what
working.
you know what it is? I just hide it very well. I'm actually also falling apart. Like I get home from the gym and my knees are like, I'm like, oh God, my fucking knees, my back. At some point, I'm just gonna hang it up and be like, you know what? I'm just gonna enjoy the rest of my life. Gonna let it all hang out.
Where
But-
are we? Where were we? Sorry.
We were talking about our all of our maladies as we fall apart and getting into our 30s, but that's okay because that's what we do. And the other thing we do is we talk about video games and playing them.
Yeah.
Um,
Come join us on the couch. Old,
yeah,
new, young, fat,
sit
regular.
especially if you're it's a big couch. It's virtual, so we can fit any number of people on there. So you guys want to just pilot it on the couch, just jump right on and join us. Like I said, we are your split screen cynics, and you can find us pretty much everywhere that you consume podcasting, shows. So Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, SoundCloud. What are some of the other esoteric ones that only hipsters really know about? We're probably on there too.
And possibly YouTube in the future.
Oh yeah, I'm
If
pretty
not
sure we're gonna
this
be on. Yeah,
podcast.
yeah. So look for us on YouTube also. We're gonna be infiltrating the YouTube spaces.
Yeah. Which
So-
keep in mind that people might be able to see us. I didn't think of that.
Oh.
I am wearing pants though. Normally
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Yeah. Normally Garrett doesn't wear pants. So, guys in YouTube, don't worry about it. You don't have to like copyright strike us or like take our video down. There's no feet showing. Oh no, wait, that's Twitch. No feet showing, right?
Twitch has all sorts of weird ones.
Yeah.
But
Good thing we're not
usually
on
don't wear
Twitch.
pants on Twitch too. The webcam's, up here.
That's
All right,
why I
so-
stopped streaming.
Oh, is
because
that
you couldn't show your
in
feet.
protest?
I don't like pants. Is that a problem?
I'm actually wearing like one of those midriff shirts, but it fits here. So. It's very airy.
And on that note, we're gonna finish up with the housekeeping. Find us, rate us, like us, subscribe because we're awesome and we wear pants just like I'm pretty sure you guys do, and you probably don't like wearing them either. So we have that in common. Also, another bit of housekeeping. Want to get this out of the way now before we forget about it later. is it our next episode or the one after where it's going to be our game club episode?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Is it would it be episode 22 or
I
episode
want to
23?
say maybe skip one because
Okay.
we're going to be doing like Anthem, sort of. I assume a long
Yeah,
game.
Sorry guys about that.
Tim had a thing to say. Does that mean that we're not doing Anthem?
No, I'm gonna get Anthem. It's just I'm still battling Micro Center right
Yeah,
now.
Tim promised me if they don't give him a free copy, he will
buy it.
Purchase it along with me.
All right. So in that case, we're gonna let's say episode 23. So in about a month from now is going to be our next game club game. We are going to be playing Anthem. That's right, the game that came out on February 22nd. The looter shooter schluter multiplayer shooter, whatever you want to call those types of games. We're going to be playing it. You guys can join us too. Play it. Let us know what you think. Send us your comments, your questions, your concerns, how you're liking it, how you're hating it.
Yeah,
anything about the game.
A lot of that. Honestly, this is the one game club game where I'm kind of like, or don't play it. like we'll play it so you don't have to.
If you care about the parts of your computer / console functioning properly after.
I mean, that's only if you're a PS4 player, from what I hear.
Oh, apparently it's affecting other people, maybe.
Yeah.
Really? Oh shit.
Who knows? Have you? Well, hold on.
Yeah,
let's transition.
We'll get into that. Yeah.
What you playing, Berto? Because I think you might have. Did you jump ahead of us, dude?
I started playing a little bit.
Okay, that's
I'm not doing like I didn't jump like right into it, but I did want to test the waters before I got in because I wanted to try out my new rig, see if I want to do the traditional, mouse and keyboard, or if I'm just gonna be a heathen and still use a game controller on my PC. Spoilers: I'm a heathen.
Wow, you're gonna use a controller in Anthem?
Yeah,
dude. That
good luck.
Me and Tim are gonna have to find another teammate. I mean, dude, that's rough.
You know what it is?
It's just this is the game to learn it,
my
dude.
34-year-old brain just can't fathom controls on a keyboard it's not built into me.
Don't you type on a computer at work? Like
I do, but I don't like try and shoot 50 people coming at me with a mouse and keyboard. It's like it's a very big difference just going like, tab, control tab. Oh wait. F2. Excel formula, run macro. Like that's the extent of my PC usage at work.
Well, just like you got to translate it. This is the game to learn it, I think.
All right, so maybe I will give it another. I'll give it another shot. But yes, as what we just said, I'm played a little bit of Mark of the Ninja. First of all, I bought that on Steam because I had heard good things and I wanted to play that game when it first came out. So I've been playing that for a little bit. I'm loving the game. I love the art style. It's really fun. It's not in me to be as stealthy as the game requires you to be. Anytime there's a stealth game that I have to play, I usually forego the stealth option and just go in guns blazing and hope I make it out alive. But Mark of the Ninja, you can't do that. You have to be stealthy. And it's very, very hard for me. And it takes like all parts of my being to do the stealthy thing. But it's really fun. I like it. The animations for the stealth kill are really cool.
Yeah, I think I got that on a Humble Bundle or something, and I kind of dabbled into it, and I think I just don't like stealth games sometimes. Like
I agree with that. It definitely like both of you. I mean, it's like if I can go into a game guns blazing, I'm usually gonna do that. And stealth games sometimes feels like it's just like forcing you to just wait and
it's like a lot of waiting around. And that. I don't know. Like, it's weird because I always want to do the stealth. Like, in Far Cry and stuff, I'm always like, let me kill as many dudes stealthily as I can. And then I'm like, oh, man, I just don't like waiting. Like, if the stealth involves waiting, I don't want to do it.
Yes, that's exactly it for me. Like, there's sections in the game where the guards are walking by and you can hide behind, like, a planter or, like, a pot or something. And then I'm there, and as the guard's walking away, I'm like, great, now I have to finish like him walking his route and coming all the way back. That's like a minute of me sitting there just till he gets close by. I just want to run out and stab him.
And just stealth gameplay usually is like, if you fail, you got to do it all over again. So it kind of
so even more waiting.
Yeah. What is cool though, Berto, your what you're playing is gonna explode because having access to the Steam Marketplace and getting like Humble Bundles and stuff is like you could play so many games. I think the next episode we might talk PC gaming, and that I'm sure that'll come up.
Forward to that. Like once I built this PC, I'm like, finally, I can have the an even larger backlog than I normally do.
So many games. I have 600 or something.
I'm so excited for that. So that's Mark of the Ninja. It's really fun. And then outside of that, I did dabble a little bit in the anthems, playing around on my controller like the heathen that I am.
I mean, I'm sure it's not for a game like that. I'm sure it's not that much of an issue.
No, and we'll definitely get into it more so for when we actually start talking into the detail on Anthem. But the gameplay, I mean, BioWare is not a developer that's known for their like tight gunplay that, you know, playing on a mouse and keyboard is going to be a significant advantage. If this were a game like Destiny, where, you know, gunplay is a very big aspect, and I think mouse and keyboard would feel a lot different than a controller. But I feel that playing Anthem on a controller versus mouse and keyboard, probably pretty seamless transition between the two, in that you don't notice much of a change.
Yeah, I'm sure that you could probably do fine for a game like this, but I think it's more of a case of like biting the bullet now and like starting to get used to it. Because once you get used to using a mouse and keyboard in a first-person shooter, like you're not going to want to use a gamepad anymore.
Yeah,
and it'd be good to learn it in a game like this where it's less
punishing to be not as
Right.
good. I would say, if that makes sense. Like, because I know you wanted to play some Apex at one point, Berto. Like, you have to play mouse and keyboard against other people in that game. Like, it's just not gonna work as well.
All right.
You might want to use Anthem as like the training game, because
Anthem's going to be my training wheels game. But so that's what I've been playing. I didn't want to get too deep into Anthem because obviously you don't want to mine some gold for the episodes we have in the future. So we'll talk about that in future episodes. But it's really fun. Garrett, what have you been playing, dear sir?
I am all over the place. I've played so many video games this week and the last week, I guess. Partially due to the fact that I did, in fact, have to build a new desktop. My old one kind of crapped out a little bit, although it's sort of fixed. I did like weird budget things to fix it, to get it up and running for the last podcast episode, basically. But I built a new PC, so I always end up playing some Steam games. Faster Than Light, I'm back into. I always get back into that game. I love that game, FTL. I usually install that on Steam while I'm like downloading drivers and everything, because it takes 2 seconds and it doesn't hog any memory or anything like that. Playing a lot of that, and that game's always good. If you haven't played it, it's worth a playthrough. I played more Celeste because I'm doing a video review for it. I'm finally kicking myself in the ass to do that, so I'm back on that. That game's phenomenal. I love that game. Worth playing. Tim, do you want to do the one that I'm going to bring up, by the way?
I mean, you have a different opinion of it than me. Probably,
Yeah, I'm sure.
You can.
I did. So I did play Toe Jam and Earl online with Tim and his friend Steve, right? I think it was Steve. Which I'm going to let Tim introduce it, and then I'll shit on it afterwards.
Well,
why? Well, what?
Well, it was amazing. It was a really good game. That's all.
We'll talk about it. And there's what else? Apex Legends I played. Oh, Spider-Man, PS4. I was streaming that last night. I started that up.
Dope. How are you liking that?
So far, so good. I'm actually impressed at the speed at which you can accomplish things. A big worry of mine going into that game is, it's open world, boring objectives, this and that. But the boring objectives are so quick that it is just fun to like the web slinging to them is worth it just to accomplish them. I was actually surprised too, because it did take a little bit for me to get the difficulty right. I played on hard or whatever it's called, like Superstar or something weird, and I don't remember. And like fights are tough. They're not that easy. Once you start figuring out to do everything, it kind of makes it right. Like, use everything at your disposal. Also, the tutorial is literally like, here's 40 different moves with button combinations.
Yeah,
so
the tutorial is very oversaturating because the button combinations, you learn it as you do more and more of it. But if it's like, here's 50 different button combinations you're going to use, boom, and they throw it to you all at once, you're like,
which I kind of appreciated, because pacing wise, it's like you basically get right into the game. It is a little difficult. You kind of stumble in the beginning. But I kind of appreciate it. It's like, here's your tools, you'll figure it out. Also, the suit unlocks and stuff is pretty well done. I actually thought I was going to like it less than I am currently. Who knows by the end if I'll get bored or whatever. But But so far so good. The web slinging feels pretty good. Couple issues with the web slinging, but a couple improvements on the.
That's like one of the best parts of the game.
So my main issue with the web slinging is the animation and ease of swinging trumps physics and realism. And I know realism's kind of dumb, but like the dive move, for instance, where you go into a dive, like if you're jumping upwards, he doesn't like finish the apex. It goes straight into a dive, which is really dumb. Like that's not how physics works. You'd have to finish your vertical, velocity before coming back down. So I wish it was a little less forgiving, just because it feels a little weird when you transfer velocity like that. That being said, it's extremely fluid compared to Spider-Man 2, which is like the holiest of holies when it comes to web slinging. And it is a lot. You have a lot more options to get through the city in different environments, which is cool. So far, so good. I like it a lot. I think that is it. I played something else, I think, but I can't remember. I played a million video games.
Yeah,
my wife picked up Pokemon Eevee friend.
Ooh.
What is it called? Pokemon
Let's Go Eevee.
Let's Go Eevee. Sorry. Which is cool because like she's interested in video games and I like that. She was like, "Oh, like how much is that?" And I just bought it for her. I was like, "Here,
play Pokemon here, catch Eevee."
So that's kind of cool. So I might end up playing that a little bit. Obviously, we'll see in the future episode if we play more Pokemon. We'll see. Tim, what have you been playing? I know you've been playing ToeJam and Earl.
I sort of have. Other than I'll get back to that. But I played. I've been playing through Doom again. It's 2015 or 2016.
I call it new
Whatever.
Doom.
Yeah, it's the more recent Doom. It's great. Been playing Counter-Strike as always, and yeah. But the main topic I guess to bring up is ToeJam and Earl. Came out on Friday, and I played it pretty much all day on Saturday. And my opinion of it is, while like I don't really like the graphic style, and the online is a mess. But other than that, it's really good.
The online is a tragedy, at least on Switch.
Switch online capabilities are terrible. You don't say.
Well, I think it's the game more than the Switch, but who knows? But this is an unfortunate. Me, Tim. What is cool is that me and Tim finally actually played something together in sort of split screen Synics fashion. We were trying to play something with Berto, and I think it got too late and someone fell asleep or something. I don't know what happened, but me and Tim played ToeJam and Earl with his friend Steve, and literally like soft locked the game twice. I think late into a run, so something's a little up there.
Tons of glitches.
It is a fun game. If you like the original at all, it's very similar with just upgrades to the amount of stuff and kind of variety of enemies and so on and so forth. But yes, the multiplayer was rough online. Only on the Switch. We didn't play it on something else.
And the local like offline co-op is great. Like there was basically no issues with it aside from some frame drop here and there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's.
I actually found it weird that you got it on the Switch, and then but local co-op, that's actually kind of dope.
Yeah.
If you're on the fence about getting it, if you're planning to try and play it online, at least on the Switch, I can't speak to the other consoles, then don't get it.
Do not purchase it yet if you want to play it online.
If you only want to play it locally or single player, then it's great. Had a great time, as long as you know what you're getting yourself into, because ToeJam and Earl is kind of its own beast.
It's a weird game.
It's
so
a roguelike.
Funny. It's so funny that you described it as a roguelike, because I've never thought of it as a roguelike before. I always just thought it was its own beast.
It's ToeJam and Earl.
Yeah, but it is a roguelike in the weirdest way. But the music's also pretty dope, which I think that's why they made the first one. They're like, let's make a video game with funk.
I remember I played ToeJam. I demoed it at E3. Sorry, they had it at PAX East 2017, I think, at the Adult Swim booth. They had, like they had that and a couple of other things. And I remember I played a little bit of it there, and I'm like, oh, this is more ToeJam and Earl.
Did we go? Because I also played it at PAX, but were we ever at the same PAX?
I think I remember that you told me, you had texted me that you were at PAX also. And I'm like, dude, I'm at PAX also. I'm like, let's try and meet up. We're like, all right, and then it just
And then okay, because I have a picture with Big Earl.
yeah,
But
I
it's
have a
like
picture
that
also.
game has been in development hell. I feel like because that game was announced forever ago.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
yeah, 2017 is when it was at PAX, and it just got released almost a full 2 years later.
Interesting. Okay. I think there was a Kickstarter too or something, right? If I'm not mistaken, because they have weird stuff for contributors or something. Tim, I had a question for you about Doom, and this is more a criticism than a question, but I wanted to know if you agree. Do you think the map design is lacking in that game? And the way I think of it is, it seems like the map is sort of like exploratory hallway arena fight, that's kind of how I felt. That was my main criticism of that game. Do you kind of feel the same way?
I could agree, but I don't know. When it comes to Doom, I think I'm forced to give it some leeway because of the way that it plays. It's kind of just like I don't really need any more than that. Um, it does come in. I think it gets a little murky when it comes to the fact that like there's all these secrets that you can find, and it's all about just like searching high and low about like where you can jump to and things like that. But when I think of Doom, I don't think about like brilliant level design like in that aspect. I just want the
Yeah.
arena fights mostly, and the game delivers in that
Okay.
aspect. So.
Because I always thought the original Doom and I always thought Doom 2 had more like levels that were like these labyrinths that you had to like kind of navigate a little bit more. And I don't know if I want to return to that exactly. It felt like playing BioShock Infinite for me, which is just arena fight, like hallway, arena fight hallway. And I don't know if I always like that. I kind of like some roaming enemies and stuff. Which is funny because they could just, so long as it's not like a weird trigger system where it's like you go in and you touch something and an arena fight starts and the doors close, I could be okay with it. But because it's that so often, that I don't know, it irked me for some reason. I don't know, whatever. It was still a dope game because the gameplay is pretty quick and fun. So
It's nonstop action, and
Yeah.
that soundtrack is fucking amazing.
and it's funny because the melee execute system they worked in well, and I was
the
so worried
glory
about that.
Yeah.
Glory kills are so freaking awesome in that game.
I didn't know the name of them. That's incredible. Glory kills.
Yeah, I mean, it is a glorious kill.
It's the hunk neck snap. Is
You
what
are
that
you are
is.
the Doombringer,
Yeah.
or the Doomslayer.
Has anyone
whatever.
been playing Resident Evil at all? By the way, I don't.
I played a couple of the side stories, but I haven't played it much since.
Yeah, I like want to
kind
replay
of
it.
completed it, so I don't know.
Yeah, I'm considering doing like an S plus run, but I don't know if it's worth it.
I kind of want to get the Thomas the Tank Engine mod.
I did see that. I was watching my friend Jack. He streams on Twitch. He's twitch.tv/puckhead1994, but he was doing Skyrim. And I haven't played or really watched Skyrim since it came out. So I was like, oh, I'll tune in, I'll watch, which was funny because there was nostalgic kind of music and stuff that I was liking. And all of a sudden, like a dragon shows up and he has the Macho Man Randy Savage. And I was losing my shit because like he didn't say that he was installing it or anything. Like it was incredible. I love like those silly mods can be so funny. Like especially when you're not expecting them, it blew me away.
And then there are some that are just because I think also in the Doom, not Doom, in Resident Evil 2, there's also another mod where Mr. X is like wearing a Speedo, and I'm like, I'll take Thomas the Tank Engine.
I've definitely to get illicit with it seen that there's nude mods for the game. Let's not talk about those too much.
It's about time.
Yeah, I've only downloaded all of them so far. What? Let's move on to news. Cynical spin.
And on that note, let us go into our cynical spin where we talk about the news. First bit of news, guys, and this is gonna be a sad one for us.
Dude,
I don't know where we go from here. I think from like we've sort of like this is our peak. What do we do now?
We don't have humor anymore. There's no jokes that can be made.
Guys, this is it for us. Reggie Fils-Aime, head of Nintendo of America, is retiring. He is stepping down in April as the head of Nintendo of America. And with him goes all our cocaine jokes and
Yeah, I
all
know.
our stripper jokes.
I actually Googled like how does Hollywood make fake cocaine? Uh to like we could all do a line in remembrance or something stupid.
It's just powdered sugar.
I there was mixed results when I looked it up. So
Oh,
but yes, we will miss you dearly, Reggie.
he's amazing.
If only because our podcast is no longer explicit and no longer funny.
No, actually, this is going to be the last podcast. When we submit it, we have to click that explicit button. Now it's going to be clean forever.
Unless Doug Bowser gets in some weird scandal, which hopefully he will.
Name like Bowser, you know he's into some shit. Reggie has been with Nintendo since 2003. He joined Nintendo back then as the executive vice president of sales and marketing. He was named president and chief operating officer of Nintendo of America in 2006. And he's been running the show there since then. And I think like when he made his first official big splash on the stage of video games is in E3 2004, where he gets on stage, he's doing his announcement, and he's like, "My name is Reggie. I'm about kicking ass. I'm about taking names, and we're about making games." And that was like, that's it. That cemented him forever in like in the collective consciousness of video game fans everywhere. Reggie, we're gonna miss you, dude. He was one of a kind.
R.I.P. I know he's not dead, but
I was about to say, I'm like, he's not
it's
dead.
this whole thing about Reggie, and he did his little farewell video. If you haven't seen it, YouTube it or something. Like, it's a weird thing to be kind of personally involved with, like, who is essentially a top level executive at a $1 billion company. Like, it's a strange thing. And I think that's what made Reggie so special, is that he did connect with the user base like I've never seen before from any other company. Like, clearly he did at least play video games. He did at least somewhat understand the people who bought Nintendo games, and he embraced the culture like nobody else. And honestly, like I felt sad when I heard he was leaving. It's a strange thing.
Video.
Yeah, I know, like, things like with Iwata, when Iwata passed away, like, that was a big deal. He was like a huge force at Nintendo or whatever, but like Reggie felt like a friend. That seems so strange. I know I had him on 3DS as like a Me or a Wii or whatever they were called on there. Because if you went to a Starbucks router, like,
when you do the connection or whatever, you like get a friend. Yeah.
So like to watch videos of him, it's really incredible how they connected with the user base, and at times where Nintendo was at its lowest, at times when it was at its best. He soldiered through the Wii U phase. He announced the 3DS, which was huge. I remember he had it in his pocket or whatever. I am gonna actually miss him. It's kind of weird to say. Jokes aside, so hopefully he enjoys retirement and spending time with his family. I did want to ask Tim, like, do you have any? Because I feel like you don't give a shit.
I literally could not care less about Reggie.
Just checking.
But
Tim's like, you see how much I care now? This is about as much as I'm gonna care about Reggie.
good luck, Reggie.
All right, that was nice. At least said something nice. I just feel like I know how you operate, Berto, where it's like you're really into the news of video games and the business and stuff. And I'm kind of similar, and I think Tim's just like, he just wants to play video games. Like, Tim doesn't give a shit.
Like, that's great, Reggie. Awesome. Enjoy retirement. Do whatever you want to do. When's Metroid Prime trilogy coming out?
Hopefully, Doug Bowser's body is ready to sort of quote Reggie.
I mean, with a name like Bowser, he was groomed to be the next head of Nintendo.
Hopefully he does something like even worse. Like, hopefully he killed a guy, but they can't prove it, and we can make jokes.
You got to imagine when he was getting lined up for the job that there were people who are like, "Oh, is he really gonna get it? Like
really,
he's gonna get this job because his name is Bowser?" Like
the second in line is Steve Finkelwitz or something, and he's like,
he's so upset.
He's like, "You gave it a Bowser, really?"
Like, and the guys,
Bowser.
The guys at Nintendo were like, "Yeah, we're giving the job to Bowser."
Yep.
Finkelstein Witz, your name.
Yes, his name is Bowser. Like, come on,
like,
dude.
we don't need to explain. His name is Bowser. This is his job to lose.
But yeah, good luck, Reggie. Hopefully retirement's dope. I hope you keep playing Animal Crossing and stuff.
I mean, do you think that he's gonna, I don't think he's gonna stay out of video games long. I think he's actually, I wouldn't be surprised if Fils-Aime jumps up somewhere else as I don't know, like an executive for like, I know Google is doing they're getting their video game stuff set up. They have something that they were going to announce at GDC, I think.
I think it's tough because the way he said it, he said he wanted to spend more time with his family. I know guys like that just don't really like. It's hard to stop. So if he does decide that, that's awesome. Good for you, dude. If not, I definitely think he'll be a part of Nintendo still. If he does fully retire, like I think he'll still be in videos now and then, maybe go to an E3 or something. But you never know. He might pop up somewhere else. And if he does, they'll be lucky to have him because he was killing it at Nintendo. So
if I ever see Reggie Fils-Aime in person, first of all, I'm gonna have to look up because from what I hear, the dude is incredibly tall. I'm talking like I think he's something like 6'7", 6'8". He's like a giant of a man, but he's a fellow New Yorker, born in the Bronx, raised out in Suffolk County. And he went to Cornell, so he might be a little bit snooty about that. If I tell him I went to Binghamton, he might look down on me for that. Be like, "Oh, what? You went to Binghamton?"
Cornell of SUNYs, though.
He's like, "Weren't you good enough to get into Cornell?" I'm like, "No, I didn't fucking apply there because you're too expensive." Reggie, we love you. Enjoy all the cocaine.
Enjoy. He got a golden parachute, and it's just kilos and kilos of coke.
He's like, "This is retirement." Next news story, and this one is one that it's pretty much everyone's already chimed in on this. This happened about a week and a half ago, but I feel like we have to touch on it also just because of how ridiculous this story is. Guys, if I told you that we finally hit it big and someone came to you and is like, "Hey, you want to do an AMA?" Yeah, sure, no problem. It's on 8chan though.
Insanity, dude.
What would your guys' response be?
Insanity.
It's ridiculous. And
I think they should have gone through with it, you know? Like, if you're gonna commit to this, yeah.
I mean, I guess at that point, if you're in for a penny, in for a pound. But I mean, you got to know, like, if you work in PR, you got to know that like 8chan are the people that got kicked out of 4chan for being too fucking ridiculous and crazy and like, no, no, I don't care who Mark is. First of all, did you read the article where it's like this guy who reached out to us said he's going to take care of all the nasty stuff? Shout out to Mark. Like, first of all, Mark.
Shout out to Mark. Who's Mark?
Like, exactly. First of all, who are you, Mark, to tell us you're going to take care of all the nasty stuff? And then second of all, he didn't take care of the nasty stuff. So, like, racist comments and child porn and like all the shit that 8chan is known for came up on that AMA to the surprise of absolutely no one.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird, like the AMA thing is funny because if you see AMAs on Reddit, usually they're like kind of informative or something, but once in a while people just get ripped to shreds. And like even that's like a little bit risky. Like if you have any sort of like political stuff in your past or anything, like you're gonna get attacked. So like whoever thought of this, I don't know who thought of this. Who thought of it at the company was like, this is a good idea. I kind of agree with Tim. Like, I feel like they should have just been like, yeah, whatever. Like, I don't know, like free and open internet. Like, I don't know.
I have literally no sympathy whatsoever because realistically, all AMAs are when they come from a company, it's just free advertisement. You know, you get to connect with the people, but it's usually not even somebody with like it's just some intern who's tasked with making these responses, and it's usually just a bunch of PR. And if something like this happens and it bites you in the ass, like I have no sympathy whatsoever. So lesson learned, I guess, for them. But I think they should have just owned up, like tried to own it and been like, well, it was a controversial decision, but we like to connect with our fans regardless, even though they would get destroyed in the media.
Yeah, that is true. That would be actual suicide of the company.
Yeah, no, I think that like that abort, don't do that. Just say play dumb, do
honestly,
what you're doing
like
now.
if I was the PR in this company, I'd be like, all right, guys, let's just say we got hacked or something. Let's make something up. Just a weird
Yeah,
decision. I don't know.
at that point, it's like say something, say anything, but don't just be like, "Well, we thought they were gonna take care of all the racist Nazi porn, child porn."
Yeah, like this had to have come from a guy who knows 8chan, right? Like otherwise you wouldn't know about it. So somebody at the company was like, "I got an idea," but like, were they Were they trying to tank the
Well,
Like,
apparently,
did they
I don't
not get a
know.
raise?
It sounds like they were approached by someone. They're like, the opportunity came up, and we said, "Sure, let's do it."
Oh my
So
god! So it was actual ignorance. Oh wow.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. So at best, you were completely ignorant as to what 8chan was, and at worst, you knew about it and did it anyway.
Yeah.
So the best case scenario is that
It's
they were
actually
completely
it's
clueless.
better to be just ignorant about it because at least you didn't like make that decision while informed about the whole thing.
True, but at the same time, if anyone came to us with a proposition, I'd do my research to make sure that they were on the up and up.
Probably
So
at
this
least type it in, and within seconds of going
Yeah,
to that
like,
site, you could be like, "Nope."
this guy should have been like, "Huh, 8chan, let me, yeah, I'll have my people call your people," and then, like, later on in the day, "Let me go to 8chan, oh, dear God,
Oh wait,
no."
this
Um,
site is blocked by our IT department.
exactly, and then you're like, "Mark, you can go fuck off. I don't want any part of
Hey,
this."
Mark, take care of it. All right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
take care of it, and by that, I mean get lost.
Oh
Uh,
man.
it was yeah, the internet had a field day with this, and I think it wasn't even until recently where THQ came out and issued a kind of statement on it. And this happened like a week and a half ago. So the fact that THQ just now, as of I think maybe 2 or 3 days ago, finally came out and said, "Yeah, we fucked up. Sorry, guys."
Yeah. THQ Nordic is what? Darksiders 4?
Darksiders 3, and they bought up a whole bunch. They've been
Oh,
buying
it's
up a
3
whole
now.
bunch of
Sorry.
studios recently.
Okay, so they're kind of conglomerating, right?
Yeah, they've been buying up a bunch of studios and properties. They bought up, I think, Kingdoms of Amalur not too long ago. So
Yeah, okay.
people are trying to figure out what they're doing.
But
And
this
it
was
looks like
essentially for Darksiders, I assume.
yeah.
Which I don't think anyone was that.
Oh, not
excited
Darksiders. They
for.
have a new game coming out. The name escapes me at the moment, but I imagine this AMA is for that new game. I'm not gonna remember it right now.
Whatever,
but
we'll
I
look
can
it up
look
later. Who cares?
But yeah, no, the real story is what the fuck, PR? What the fuck? Do your homework. You don't. Moving on from that debacle to another debacle, Anthem, which is a favorite topic of everyone's, and the shitting of Anthem specifically. Um, they've been really taking it on the chin, like since their launch. It seems like nothing's been going right for this game since it launched. BioWare has been just really getting knocked down a couple of pegs. And they're not a studio that's known for putting out crap like Dragon Age and Mass Effect, with the exception of Mass Effect Andromeda and that last Mass Effect, which the ending was kind of divisive. They're a very good developer, so it's kind of sobering to see them dealing with all these kind of issues with this game. But aside from the myriad of issues that people already have with Anthem, the campaign and the NPC issues and the gameplay, now they have an even bigger issue to deal with, in that it seems like PS4s are getting bricked when you're playing the game, which is not a good thing. A number of players have been on Reddit and other forums complaining that the game seems to be plagued with issues that at best boots them to the main menu and at worst bricks their systems completely. And I got this from an article on Engadget. Long story short, Anthem is fucking up consoles now. Not only is it fucking up gameplay, but it's fucking up consoles.
This is crazy because, like, when they say bricking, because bricking a console to me is the console literally doesn't work anymore. Is that what they're referring to, or are they saying it's shutting off to the menu? Because
I think that at least in I don't think in the majority of cases, I think in just the majority of cases where it's having this issue, it's causing this impromptu restart and has to do the thing where it's
but a
like,
few have actually, like, the console literally
yeah,
blew up.
it sounds like at least a handful of them have actually been bricked. Now, whether that's a direct result of the Anthem issue or maybe they just have shitty consoles, correlation doesn't imply causation, but
Yeah.
the fact that other consoles are having these kind of systemic issues, you can't ignore the fact. And it's gotten to the point where Sony is now like offering refunds for
Wow.
people who, yeah. I read an article where it says Sony's offering refunds because of this issue.
Um, I
so
have
just
one reaction to this, and I know we're all gonna play Anthem eventually, and we'll react more to it, I'm sure. But stop putting out unfinished games, please. that's I don't know. I feel like this year in particular, if not the end of last year too, is the year where consumers are finally catching on that big AAA companies push out games too early. So part of me likes this. Like I'm enjoying that Anthem's doing bad. I'm enjoying that Battlefield 5 did bad. I'm like I like that AAA games are finally being kind of held accountable a little bit.
But how much of it is? It's not the developer's fault though. How much of this has got to be EA saying, "Listen, guys, I don't care what state the game is in, you have to ship." I can't imagine that BioWare said, "Let's ship this game as is," because they know their credibility's on the line. And EA doesn't give a shit. They're gonna get theirs. They're gonna get theirs.
I don't know. Like it to me, it's like BioWare has. You said before, like BioWare was it or is a good company. I think they were a good company. Knights of the Old Republic, Dragon Age, the original one, which might have been called Origins, great games. Mass Effect 1 and 2, great. Mass Effect 3, clearly unfinished, the way the ending was. And then
Andromeda was Andromeda was a debacle.
Knights of the Old Republic Online, terrible game. Andromeda, awful game that looked like it was made by like an amateur studio at best. And now you have obviously EA pressure, but like if you're the company, you're giving into that pressure. You know what I mean? Like I know you were bought out or whatever, but like there's a lot of blame to go around, and I think it solidly falls on EA. But I think BioWare, you have to hold them responsible too, because like I know it's your job, I know this and that, but you are responsible for the work you do. And if it comes out early and you're part of this machine, like let's get pre-orders going, let's do this, we'll fix it later. Like you're part of the problem. So I don't really feel bad for BioWare. That being said, I do think early release is 100% from EA, but I don't know. That's just me.
That whole like beta schedule, whatever PR firm they hired to do that whole rollout, that was fucking nuts. Where you needed that giant like spreadsheet to figure out who can play what on what day. Definitely didn't help matters. So Anthem is really reeling right now from all the.
I mean,
the
Tim
issues
literally hasn't gotten his code yet. That's not really Anthem's fault, but
I don't know who to blame for that yet, but it's seeming like Micro Center. But I don't know. When it comes to issues like this, I don't want to downplay it because clearly the game is an unfinished mess. But I'm sure it's not quite as bad as it's being reported on. When news like this comes out, like you get people who are like, "Oh yeah, like this is terrible. This is happening to me." Like people just kind of like try to throw fire in the flame. It's kind of like they smell blood, and Anthem is dying, and they want to just get in their licks while they can. And I mean I do this stuff too, but I would assume there's at least some misinformation going around when it comes to like it fully breaking people's PS4s. I'm sure it's happened, but not on the scale that it's being reported at. That would be my guess.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. If it's happened, I'm sure it's happened. Like if 2,000 people have had issues with their PS4 playing Anthem, maybe like one or two of them had their PlayStation 4 bricked. So it's not as widespread. But saying, "Hey, Anthem bricked my PC, bricked my PS4," it's a headline that's going to get clicks. So I can see why they would play it.
They're everybody's like favorite punching bag at the moment too. So
they really are. It's because, and like Tim was saying, everyone wants to get their licks in because it's easy, because the game's been panned already by critics for a number of reasons. To the point where if you go to Twitter and somebody says unpopular opinion, I like Anthem, like they have to preface it by saying unpopular opinion.
Because Bethesda's probably like, hell yeah, like nobody's mad at Fallout 76 right now.
Yeah, now they're like, yeah, you don't remember Fallout 76 now, but I mean, between the two of them, Anthem is like stellar compared to Fallout 76. Fallout 76 was like a garbage can on fire when it released.
It's been a weird year of just like.
No, it is. It's games as a service. These types of games, they take time to get to the point where they're good. None of them that I remember at least have been good on release.
Yeah, but remember Remember when World of Warcraft came out and like, yeah, the servers had issues because like 10 million people were on them and they didn't expect more than 1 million. But that game, like within a week, was working. You know what I mean? Like what? Like it. I just wish that these AAA studios would get that. Like a good game trumps profits in the when you release it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Because you will make more money if you put out a good game.
Oh, I can't imagine that they want to put out a shitty game. So
Yeah.
I'm really curious how much of it is like how much of it EA has to do with it.
Yeah.
And my big concern is with all this backlash they're having now, how much longer is EA going to support the game before they cut it off and say that's it? Like we can't keep supporting a game that's doing poorly. Like,
Yeah. It should be interesting. Hopefully a lesson will be learned by somebody. And hopefully it's not the consumers. Just you got screwed over for buying this game.
I want
AKA
this game.
me.
Like I want this game to exist a year, 2 years down the line because there is good stuff in there. They have, good factors that you can build on. But I'm scared that EA is going to say nope and then just pull the plug, and then
possible.
there goes another possible franchise that could have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I doubt they'll pull the plug that much just because they're so pot committed, as well as just the backlash of doing that. Like even in the first 3 years would be massive, I imagine. Unless there's literally 100 people playing the game or something like that.
And it's sad because this was one of my most anticipated games of 2019.
I hate to say I told you so, Berto.
But
called it.
I say that with a little bit of pullback because I say I get the game for free, but I actually had to buy a video card for it, but I didn't shell out the $60 for it.
Yeah.
So maybe that's sort of painting my
little bit of
view. It's a little bit of rose-colored glasses, and that I didn't have to shell out for a full price game. So maybe that has something.
Hopefully Tim won't have to either. But
hopefully
I bit the bullet. We'll play it so you don't have to. That's got to be Micro Center's fault. But
that's the main crux of who I'm upset with. But no, we'll confirm the next podcast whether or not I can formally disavow.
Maybe Micro Center will sponsor us.
Never shop there again.
Yeah, we'll see.
They're on thin ice.
That's all I have to say about Anthem.
There's the news.
It's disappointing. I want it to get better. I want it to be better. We will suffer through it together.
Did you want it to be the very best? Like no one ever was?
Oh, I see what you're doing there. I love that was a totally
it is EA's real test. To retain customers is their cause. Anthem.
Anthem. Oh, that was an amazing segue that in no way was rehearsed. Actually, no, legit, guys, that was not rehearsed at all. That was totally.
I wrote that 8 days ago.
It's like I had that one sitting in my pocket. I was waiting for a chance to use it. Moment was right.
But yeah, let's. That was a weird segue, but segment 3.
Segue nonetheless.
A little bit of news to lead us right in. Nintendo did announce Pokemon Sword and Shield for Nintendo Switch.
What?
Which is going to be essentially the first mainline Pokemon game on the non-portable console. I know that's weird to say because Switch is portable, but 3DS is still alive apparently. So that was announced this week. The internet's going nuts over it. I'm sure Pokemon and Nintendo fans are going nuts over it. So that is going to be our segment 3. We're going to discuss Pokemon Sword, Shield, and Gun if you're in Mexico because they posted that and they believe the Photoshop.
I want to play Pokemon Gun.
Pokemon Gun sounds good, and it's the green one, which I'm a fan of the green Pokemon. But yeah, let's start off the discussion. Are you guys excited, interested? What do you think? What's the idea?
I am very excited because I recently got back into the Pokemon titles. I hadn't played Pokemon since Red and Blue were obviously everyone's first big foray of the OG Pokemon. If you don't talk to me about, Crystal, Silver, any of that nonsense, if you weren't in on the ground level with Red, Blue, and I'll give you Yellow, then don't talk to me, son. You don't know me. But after that, I like completely fell off
Are
the
you
face of the earth.
gatekeeping Pokemon right now?
I am gatekeeping Pokemon. That's right. Don't try and talk to me. I've been there.
Gatekeeping gets a bad rap, but sometimes it needs to be done.
Oh, fair. Okay.
But after that whole generation, I completely dropped off the face of the earth with Pokemon and didn't pick it back up until Sun and Moon. And that's when I got back into it, and I was like, I remember why I love Pokemon. This game is so freaking awesome. And there was that huge gap in between that I completely missed out on. And also like 800 or so Pokemon that I have no idea what their names are. But some of them are really, really stupid looking, like the Sandcastle and the Key. So I'm kind of happy that I missed out on that.
Wow, that's a little mean to the Sandcastle. He looks cool. I forget his name. I was actually thinking of doing like a quiz.
Palossand.
Did you look that up or do you know that?
No, I know that.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Okay, Tim would have done well on the quiz, apparently.
So that's my experience with Pokemon, but I am excited for this one because it does look really fun. Being a true sequel, like the first mainline Pokemon on the Switch console, is really exciting. There are some things I saw on the trailer that I was kind of hoping that I didn't see. But we can talk about that when we start digging further into Pokemon. But overall, I am excited. I'm not like through the roof hyped, not like, oh my god, I need to have this. But I am excited.
Tim, any interest?
No, I mean, I go through this once every 4 or 5 Pokemon games or something. It's like, oh, Pokemon could be fun. Yeah. And I play it and it's the same thing. And I mean, I could go on and on about my issues with Pokemon, but my main one being that it's just the world is just a one-dimensional, like, soulless place where everything in the world just revolves around the Pokemon, and that's fine.
Me and
I
my
get it.
Pokemon do chores together.
Yeah, every single character literally has like nobody has a dialogue box that doesn't include the word Pokemon or a Pokemon, and it's okay. I get it. It's not for 30-year-old Tim, but
Oh man, sorry, dude.
but I just wish that they could have, like by now created a more a world with some heart and some depth to the characters and interesting things that happen. Aside from the fact that the games are, they're easy, I think would be an understatement. It's kind of just like it serves you the game, which is okay too. I understand, but I like to be challenged a bit, and I don't want to impose specific limitations on myself just to make a game harder. And it is nice that it's the first one that's coming out on the console, but uh, it's gonna have to do something special to get me to really want to play it, and as of now, it hasn't really.
Or we could say it's going to be a game club and make it.
Oh, there we go.
That's
into play.
That I mean.
So here's I'm going to jump in. I'm in between
right
you two, which sucks, sort of, in that I keep getting Pokemon games. I don't know if it's nostalgia. I don't know what it is. There's something exciting about the collecting of goofy ass Pokemon and making it work as a team that I love. The Sun and Moon game I played with my friend Chris, and we had a bet. I think it was like $20 that we would fight once, like we would be around the same level and we'd fight with our team and see what happened. And that was so enjoyable, and I don't know why. It was like a real life trainer almost, like from the show or the games. That being said, there is a core issue with Pokemon, and I've thought a lot about it, and I've actually deduced what the exact flaw is that makes me hate the game and never finish it.
Oh, God. All right, let's do it. Let's hear it.
Which I haven't finished a game since Red and Yellow. I haven't finished a single Pokemon game. I own Silver, Emerald, Black and White 2,
Omega
Sun
Ruby
and Moon.
and Sapphire.
I do own Ruby. Like, I own so many Pokemon games, and I've never finished a single one except for the originals.
So what's the major flaw? What's holding you back?
So this might be a little, depending on how much you know about Pokemon, this might seem made up, if you will. In more recent games, it's more obvious, but there's EV and IV values, right? And for those of you who don't know, essentially EV and IV values are weird things that are not obvious in older games, a little more obvious in new games, where Pokemon stat growth and they're actually stats, like how you gain stats, are based on I believe IV is kind of where they start. So when you catch a Pokemon, it has a random, speed 20 to 30, toughness 20 to 30, et cetera, et cetera. So essentially you could catch a bad Pokemon with not great stats. That one doesn't matter that much, especially just playing through the game casually. It's more of a PvP thing later. But specifically what Pokemon they fight against raises their stats differently, which is, again, really dumb because say you have like a Gengar who's a ghost, uses special attack, has high special defense normally, and you fight the wrong Pokemon, it'll like raise his defense stat more, which is dumb. That's dumb. Like it makes a bad Pokemon. Now, this is very technical, but natures have been around, and natures are even worse because natures specifically, when you catch a Pokemon that has a nature like Brave or something, and it literally makes one of the stats grow slower and one of the stats grow faster. So sometimes you could catch a Pokemon and it will literally be awful, which is, think of something like a Hitmonchan, for instance, usually high attack stat, high speed stat. You can get a bad nature where his high attack stat will actually grow really slow and his special attack stat will grow really fast. So the hidden systems, and now they're more obvious, like ruin the game for me because I catch a Clefairy and I want to use it. I don't want to spend my time catching the right Clefairy.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have experienced that. I know it's like a PvP thing where later in the game you breed Pokemon to make the perfect Pokemon.
It would be an issue if, like I said, if the game wasn't already pretty easy.
And that's I understand that you can beat the game pretty easily enough, especially with XP share and stuff, with the wrong Pokemon. But I hate it. Like, I hate the idea of getting the wrong Pokemon, and then like when I bet $20 and fight my friend, I'm just at a disadvantage just because of RNG.
Yeah.
Well, so the solution right there is don't bet $20.
I mean, I guess, but like, doesn't that seem weird? Like that the game has this weird RNG anytime you catch a Pokemon, and that the solution is essentially end game breeding it out of the Pokemon.
Yeah,
like,
that was actually like for the longest time I had no idea why there was breeding in Pokemon. I was like, what do you want? Like,
yeah.
why would you ever breed a Pokemon? And that's the answer. Is that literally, if you're trying to min-max your Pokemon, and like you said, it literally only matters for when you're playing against other people.
Yeah.
Because,
it's like, which is annoying, but it can matter in the game too. Because certain,
it could,
like,
but
like if you get a bad nature and bad IVs, like your Graveler will just not have defense, and it's like that's what the Pokemon's designed for.
That's like, yeah, and Graveler's like, this is what you do, dude. You are a giant rock. You're like, defense should be your thing.
And that what is essentially a game designed for young people and or children, and is a really easy game, requires you to look at a spreadsheet occasionally to like see if your Pokemon's even viable, is nuts to me. That's a weird issue to have with a game, I know, but I cannot get over it because every game, the second I start thinking about it, I ruin the game because I'm like, oh, I caught the Pokemon I wanted because it looks cute, but I can't use it because it has terrible stats.
Because it's terrible.
Yeah.
See, now that you explain it and fully laid out the systems, it's basically Pokemon eugenics, and now I can't get behind it.
Dude, it's nuts. It's nuts.
In terms of like a regular playthrough for the game, the nature is really the only one that's going to affect you.
Yes.
Like EVs, like you're gonna kill them anyway. Like it's gonna affect your stat growth, but it doesn't. It's on such a small level. And IVs is the same thing. It's like the difference between having like 5 attack to start versus 10 attack.
Yeah, but like, even the nature is still
The
Like,
nature you should like that's the one that would matter. Just
yes.
Yeah. For the
But-
stat growth.
but again, none of this really matters because the games are so easy.
I know, but it every time.
Can you imagine taking on the Elite Four with the shittiest team ever and still winning? And you're like,
Yeah,
you guys
which
suck
is-
because this is terrible Pokemon.
What's funny is the Nuzlocke run idea kind of fixes that. I don't know if you guys have tried a Nuzlocke run. Short rules of the Nuzlocke run is basically any area you enter, you can only catch the first Pokemon you encounter, no matter what. And when a Pokemon faints, you set it free. You get rid of it.
Oh.
Which is a weird hard mode, but what I like about that run is it kind of feels like the show to me, because Ash just catches whatever and is like, this Caterpie
Well,
is mine.
yeah,
So
Well, Ash is also the worst Pokemon trainer in the world because
dude, he
he's
made
like,
Elite Four. Like, he got to like the top 4 like a bunch.
yeah, but he first of all, he never makes it to the top. And then he's like, oh, I got a Caterpie. It's a Butterfree now. Oh, bye-bye Butterfree. Bye-bye Butterfree.
Well,
I'm
that's
gonna
actually
just
part of the
let you free."
Nuzlocke run as well, because if one of your Pokemon faints, then you're supposed to
Well, yeah, like
set it
what-
free
what-
because it's dead. Either way, like I mean, Nuzlocke runs can be fun, but it's not the solution. Like
It isn't. What is the solution though? I don't know. I feel like that shit should just. I feel like every Pokemon you catch in the normal game should be this baseline thing, and then once you beat the game, you unlock IVs or something.
you know what
like
the
that.
solution is? Difficulty settings.
Or that would help. Yeah.
Seriously, like it would be fun to play a difficult Pokemon game.
Yeah. That's
But-
It would be
but
fun
that's
if they actually reset the number of Pokemon, because now I have to know like 900 Pokemon across 15 different types.
well. Have they announced aside from the starters? Is it a brand new generation of Pokemon?
I don't think so, because in the trailer they showed like obviously Pikachu, because Pikachu and Eevee are like the faces of Pokemon, but I
Mhm.
think they've showed other Pokemon from like Gen 1 in the trailer. So there's going to be at least Gen 1 Pokemon in there.
Well, that's like a theme in the games is that even with new generations, they always keep a few
Yeah.
standards in there. But that, to be honest, I do get excited by the new generation of Pokemon. Like I am interested in this game. I'll probably pick it up, just because I don't know, Pokemon on a non-handheld, even though the Switch is technically, excites me. Which I wonder, do you think they're gonna do anything as far as like, do you think it'll be different because of the power, or do you think it's just gonna be the same thing but look nicer?
I want it to be different, but one of what I was mentioning earlier when I said that some of the things I saw in the trailer that I didn't like, it looked like it was still that sort of fixed camera angle.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to be able to have a free roaming camera. I wanted this to be like the Breath of the Wild for Pokemon, where it completely like breaks the formula and recreates it. But it seems it's just like a bunch of little incremental changes and
Yeah.
nothing like earth shattering, which I'm excited that we're getting a new mainline Pokemon. But at the same time, I was a little disappointed that they're sort of still playing it kind of safe. I wanted them to just completely erase the drawing board and start like with this huge new sort of idea.
Yeah, I
but
mean,
they didn't do that.
even if they just did battles where like battles happened, like say you're walking in a path or whatever, and it like instead of spiraling and being that stupid turn-based thing, like if it just naturally zoomed in the camera
Yeah.
in the environment, I think that'd be so much cooler, like, and more engrossing. Because I think Tim is right when it's like the world of Pokemon just doesn't feel real. Not only in that characters are so static, and me and my Pokemon take a bath together, or whatever weird thing that people say, like,
Oh, what
Whoa.
Pokemon game are you playing?
Whoa, whoa,
dude,
whoa!
Squirtle. You
Me-
wouldn't have
My
Squirtle in
Pokemon
the
does not
Give
take
me
a
the
bath
download
with
link.
me.
well, it'll be on 8chan later. Don't worry about it. But you know what I mean? Like I don't think they're gonna do anything different, and it sucks. Because they
Well,
should.
I mean, apparently armored evolutions are going to be a thing.
Oh, why do they keep doing that? That's
Armored
a-
Evolutions.
I think I saw or read something somewhere where armored or at least maybe not evolutions, but armored upgrades or something to do with armor in Pokemon
Ugh.
might be a thing for this game.
That's like how Pokemon innovates. Is they're like, some Pokemon evolve even more, and like
Yeah.
everyone's like who gives a shit? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Plenty of people do. Do you know how many people go wild and apeshit because Eevee
I
has like
know.
30 evolutions?
That's so dumb though. It's like did you guys like the Z evolution or Crystal evolution, whatever those were called? Like,
No.
Really?
and then in Sun and Moon you had like the dance moves or whatever.
I like the dance moves.
I prefer that to the evolution, but
Yeah.
it's neither one of them are particularly interesting.
Yeah.
I enjoyed like the dancing moves where they do with the crystals, and I see my trainer like doing some like huh huh huh, and
Like
they do
that-
like a special attack.
That was nice, but I intentionally didn't use it because it just is so overpowered. Which is weird because Pokemon is you just have to not use stuff if you don't want to just steamroll the game.
Yeah.
Which again, like if you just go online randomly to battle people, you'll just come across people and it's like all level 100, like 4 legendaries and 2 mega evolutions, and you're like, oh, I have like a coughing.
It's like,
Well,
oh,
the next thing is
sweet.
you can do like kind of like tiered based things if you like know how to look.
Oh, this is you're talking about PvP tournaments and stuff, right, Tim?
Yeah.
Which
Well, just like the online, like you can there because it like there's a resource called Smogon. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but basically it breaks down every single Pokemon into a tier based on like their performance in tournaments and this and that, and just viability overall.
yeah.
And you can try to have battles that are exclusively within the tier. So if you just want to have coughings and Rattatas and crap
I
like
miss
that,
Coughing.
you can do Little Cup or something like that.
Yeah, it's the worst tier because Coughing, although he is my favorite Pokemon, is
Dude, he's your
one
favorite
of
Pokemon?
yeah, he's one of the worst Pokemon of all time. Like his stats are bad, his moves are bad. Like he's
And
just a bad Pokemon.
aesthetically, he just looks.
No, take it back.
I mean, breaking down Coughing
Coughing?
is a hard thing to do because like he's not a fully evolved Pokemon.
Yes,
But
but even Weezing sucks.
Weezing's
too.
actually, I mean, depending on the generation, is not that bad.
I
Like,
guess
there's
so.
a place for Weezing. He's got good defense.
Yeah, it's the trash.
Yeah, but he doesn't look like Coughing's so happy all the time, and Weezing is real sad. Like
because
that's
he's got like these growths coming out of him.
yeah, but it's just another buddy. You'd think it'd be more fun. It's like a baby.
He's so sad
Coughing.
because he knows he's got like cancer.
No, but it's Pokemon.
It's progressed.
It's Pokemon cancer.
It's not malignant, or it is malignant. Yeah, it is malignant. Whatever.
It's totally it's malignant and it's got faces. That's why he's
Fair.
like, oh god damn it.
Like I hated that Coughing in the games just did smokescreen. Like he never did anything good. But that's like how he is in the games. He's no good.
Explosion, bitch.
Oh, he did do that once in a while. That is true.
I think do like poison gas.
Well, yeah.
I-
I mean,
he does that,
everything's
but it's
dumb in
just
the games.
smokescreen.
That's the thing. Like there is a depth of interesting things involving Pokemon, but none of it gets explored in the games because they're all so easy. So
Yeah. It would be cool if they specifically were like, you know what? This is gonna be for 30-year-old Tim and made a Pokemon game and made it like a true RPG setting.
I'm sure there's a mod out there somewhere, a
That's
ROM hack or
actually-
something
yeah.
that's acceptable, but I don't care enough about Pokemon to find it, even though I know the names of Palossand.
I was gonna
There's
say
a Kaizo Pokemon out there.
There is, but it's really dumb.
Oh, there is? Oh, I didn't even. I
there's
was
so
just
many
saying
Pokemon
that.
out there.
There's a bunch of them.
There's some really goofy looking ones. Oh, speaking of how they look. Okay, do we all know the 3 starters of the new Pokemon?
Which one do you pick?
Yeah. Do I? You mean me specifically? or is
Yes.
that a
Which one do you
general?
go for?
Oh, what's his name? Can I look up their names really quick?
Yeah,
I
you
need
can look up
to
the names.
look up. I don't remember what they look like.
I know who I want. I just forget his name. His name is so cute too.
Oh wait, I think I know who you're gonna pick.
Or her
I know
name.
who you-
Okay, so there's Grookey, which is the little green monkey, Scorbunny, which I assume is a fire rabbit, and Sobble, who's like a dumb salamander kind of looking guy. 100% Grookey for me.
Oh, not who I thought you were gonna go
Look
for.
at him, he's so cute. He's like a little cute monkey with like a cinnamon stick in his hair. It's adorable. What are your guys' choice? What are you gonna pick, Berto?
I don't know. This is like trying to pick your favorite amongst your 3 mediocre kids.
Yeah,
Oh, you don't like any of them, really?
I
There
don't. I
were
don't like them either. I think this is
no.
one of the worst generations of starters
Yeah,
in a while.
Oh,
when
weird. Is it
when
weird
they
that I think it's one
introduced
of the
them
best?
when they introduced them in the trailer, I was like, the, in Pokemon Red and Blue, and then in Sun and Moon, there was one that jumped out to me immediately. In Red and Blue, I was like, I need that Charmander, and then in Sun and Moon, I was like, I need that owl because he has a bow tie.
Yeah, but look
None
at the
of these
cinnamon
jumps,
stick, dude.
none of these say anything to me. I looked at them and I was like, you guys are all like the kids that I kind of just have to adopt, but don't really want.
Oh, I actually thought these were pretty good compared to, well,
They're-
not old ones,
I
but
will
to
say
recent
this:
ones.
their names are really uninspired, and it's showing the fact that they are running out of ideas because
I mean,
they're
you can
all
only come
miserable.
up with so
All
many
of them
you-
really
names.
bad.
Oh, you mean it wasn't like when they had Clef Key or the vanilla ice cream cone Pokemon that they were starting to get
Dude, the ice
uninspired?
cream
Those
cone
are
was
not
was
starters.
dope.
So.
No, they're not starters, but they're just Pokemon in
I mean,
general.
Score Bunny's rough, but Sobble? What's wrong with
Sobble
Sobble?
and Grookey.
What's wrong with Grookey? You're talking shit about my dude.
I can't even pronounce it properly because like it shouldn't be said by anybody over the age
Is
of
it
8.
Green Monkey? Is that what they're going for?
Green Ookie Grookey? Like, I don't know. I mean, they
you
already
know what's
had
funny is-
had a fire monkey. Like, are they gonna do a water monkey in the next one?
They had Infernape, right?
There's all sorts of monkeys. There already exists a water
Yeah.
monkey.
I mean, they've had an issue. Apparently, the internet's really scared for Score Bunny because they don't want it to be firefighting. Apparently, firefighting has been
It's really common.
a common combo for starters, and because he has what appears to be like a Nelly Band-Aid,
Band-Aids.
yeah,
Yeah, that's fighting.
that's fighting. But maybe those are like match pads so he can strike matches or something.
He's a fire fairy.
I just hope that Grookey gets more buff and then uses the cinnamon stick as a Monkey King staff.
I want him to throw like green poop.
It's funny because I read a Japan green poop. How dare you?
It's chlorophyll.
Yeah.
It is. It's good for the plants.
Dude, look at him. He's so cute, though. I don't know. So wait, you guys wouldn't even pick one? You have to pick one right now.
I have to pick one right now. Oh,
And then when you get it, you have to play that one. That's the rules.
I would pick Sobble because
Sobble.
I normally don't pick the water Pokemon anyway, so it's whatever. It's the least the lesser of 3 evils.
It is weird that he just has a Squirtle tail. if you look at it.
It's really uninspired, but what can you do? How many Pokemon are there now?
A million billion.
yeah, like
Oh wait, they kind of
5,000.
look better in game actually.
They look plasticky.
I mean, well, but that's just the game. But they look a little better than the drawings, I think. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. All right, Berto, you have to pick
I guess
one.
if I'm picking, I'll round out. I'll go with Score Bunny.
Ooh,
so
did
we
you
each get
really
one of
want
3.
Score Bunny, or are you just being nice?
No, I'll pick Score Bunny because you guys got the other 2. So I'll take
Yeah.
this ridiculous looking Trix rabbit thing.
Yeah, but he'll grow up into like some mean super rabbit, which will be. You got to remember they grow up.
I think if I were to play this game, then this might be one of those games where I just don't care about the starter and just like maybe level him up just so I can see what he evolves into, but not
Yeah,
you.
that's usually how I play Pokemon. Like I ditch the starter at one point because they're always overpowered.
I played Sun and Moon and I thought Litten was so adorable
Yeah,
that I used it, but I mean,
I use Incineroar in Smash Bros. But
Incineroar is like it's okay design, I guess.
yeah,
Like
there's better.
It's like, I am Fire Wrestling Cat.
Yeah, I like that he suplexes dudes in Smash Bros. I really miss, Halucha from whatever the Luchador bird. That was a good design. They gotta do more of those. So here's another thing.
I'm all
the
about
game.
I'm all about my owl with the bow tie.
The setting. Does the setting intrigue you guys at all? Because I kind of like the idea. Apparently, it looks like it's gonna be kind of England,
Yeah.
Scotland.
Yeah,
or
that's
UK
what the
Isles
consensus
based.
is. It looks like it's gonna be like England, Scotland, like somewhere in the UK region. They definitely showcase a lot of different environments in that trailer. You're like in snowy places, you're like in very picturesque city looking
Yeah,
places.
there was like a
with
really dark
smokestacks and stuff.
forest.
Yeah, so I'm actually looking forward to that because I want to see what their take on the UK is like. Because we've already had, New York, the Japanese islands,
Paris
France,
was one. Yeah.
Hawaii.
Paris,
So-
I thought was one of the worst. I don't know why. I just didn't like it for some reason.
That's because it's Paris.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Aesthetically, it seems like it could be nice, but it's
Poor
just gonna be
Tim.
this paper thin world of
Poor Tim.
misery.
Tim is hating on
All right,
Pokemon.
let's shift from the game then, because Tim's suffering over there.
Tim's like, do we still have to do? Oh, goddamn Pokemon!
To segue into the show, I think if the game was more like the show, I would love it. Where it was more, if it was way more difficult to catch Pokemon and you just kind of had to use them, just because of the rarity of them. And maybe I'm wrong because on a recent rewatch, Ash did actually catch Pokemon pretty frequently. But I kind of wish the game was more like that. Like, did you guys watch the show? Do you like the show?
Yeah.
I used to watch it back in the day.
I rewatch it every now and then. I never get all the way through, but it's an entertaining thing. The thing I always say about the show is like it'd be like so sick if they could just like make the Team Rocket intros shorter.
Yeah.
Between
Yeah.
like the recap of the previous episode, the intro, and then the preview of the next episode, and then the Team Rocket intros. That's like
It's like half the show.
it's like 12 minutes left of content.
Yeah.
But-
Someone should edit them together.
I mean, that being said, Team Rocket is actually my favorite part of the show, specifically Meowth. I think he's the best character in the show. But
Respect.
oh, really? I always found Meowth kind of annoying. I really like Jesse and James, but I don't like Meowth that much.
I don't know. Maybe it's his accent, but I it's just,
Like his bad like Brooklyn, New York accent.
yeah, it kills me.
It's so grating.
But it's there's good stuff in the show. If you're a fan of the games, you know how they work. You watch the show, you'll be like, this isn't true. A lot.
Yeah.
But as its own, I think it's a great thing for anyone to revisit because everybody watched it at some point.
Yeah, I'm sure if you were born like 80s plus, you've seen at least a few episodes of Pokemon.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
Have you guys watched, because Twitch does like Pokemon like marathons and stuff, and I've tried to watch some of the newer episodes and I'm a little out of it. But like it's like the animation quality of them is actually like crazy in the fights sometimes. Like the fights are way better sometimes. In the old
really?
show, the fights a lot of time would be like, Squirtle used water gun, and it would just be like a background that's flashing and Squirtle standing still and water would come out.
Like seizure-inducing water gun.
Yeah, which they did give a few people seizures with the Porygon episode, certainly. But like that, it's a lot more like you actually see the Pokemon moving in the environment in the fights and stuff.
Maybe I'll watch a couple of the new ones to get a feel for that.
I think the show's like clearly it's designed for kids. There's a lot of repetition. There's a lot of unfortunate same kind of Pokemon nonsense where it's like, I do everything with my Pidgey, and that's like a whole character.
Pidgey, bring in the groceries attack.
Me and my Pidgey do everything together, and like, all
We
right,
bathe
like,
together. What?
There is that, dude. That's the thing. Don't even lie.
I mean, I'm listen. Whatever you're into, man. I'm not trying to like shame you for bathing with your Pokemon.
Dude, if
wanna
you had a
bathe?
Squirtle, you wouldn't let him in the bathtub.
Pidgeys can be hot.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Repeat that, Tim. What'd you just say?
You heard me.
I didn't.
Yeah, no, I think we did. What you thought you heard, you totally did hear. Yeah.
But that being said, the show it does seem higher quality in the newer episodes, certainly. Now, also, like, has anyone played the GameCube? What were they called? It was like Legacy of Darkness or something.
I have not. I've heard about those.
It was Pokemon. One was Pokemon Coliseum something, and then one. It was essentially a Pokemon game for the mainline console, not for the portable. But I believe it didn't quite actually play the way Pokemon does. Like, it was more of an RPG, and there was more of a storyline. Berto, you've never played either of those?
I'm looking it up right now. Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness.
Gale of Darkness. Okay.
No, I
XD.
this is
Um,
yeah, no, I don't remember. Like I've heard of it. I've seen images, but I've never actually played it. And I'm looking at stuff right now, and actually, yeah, it looks more like a traditional RPG that you would imagine.
that's
Look,
something that we should all like.
huh?
We should
I mean,
all try it because Tim, I think that might actually appeal to you in the sense that it's
it's
obviously
more
it's
of
a
a
Pokemon
like
world, but it's I believe it's more developed. It's more fleshed out.
Yeah. Well, probably the best Pokemon game of all time is, in my opinion, is Pokemon Stadium 2, and it's because of the challenge involved. It takes, it takes out all the stuff that people really love about Pokemon, so it's not for everyone. The whole catching, rate, like leveling up and stuff like that. But it just puts you in battles where you're always against enemies that have the exact same number of Pokemon as you. They have all their Pokemon are the exact same level as yours. So, assuming you're using the rental Pokemon, not like uploading your Pokemon
Yeah.
game, but it's the challenge is perfect. Like you actually have to, consider all these options. Like you have to switch appropriately. It brings the
the
uh
meta becomes really important.
right. It brings you all the things you'd want from playing against other people online without actually having to do all like the legwork and research and breeding and crap like that. And so
Well, if
that
you could introduce one thing to the new game, would you just put in a hard mode essentially? Do you think like level scaling would be the answer to that?
I don't know exactly what the answer to it would be, but there should be a way to make the game just more difficult
Yeah, because
because
I like the concept of that. Because you're right, the stadium games to play against a friend is amazing because it basically forces the meta on you. Like you have
Yeah,
to make smart decisions. Because one of the things when I played with Chris randomly with for the $20 bet, it was sort of a thing where it's like, man, like his team is stacked with like he has 3 water guys and I have electricity, so I'll win. Like that kind of a thing. Whereas in the way it's done with that, where because you only pick 3 Pokemon to start, like it's a little bit random every fight. Um, that would make the game a lot more interesting, I think.
yeah, specifically the Challenge Cup and the Challenge Cup rule set in Pokemon Stadium 2. It just gives you 6 random Pokemon with different moves, and they're not fully random, and it's like set up in a way so that you have like a pretty balanced team. And each fight you get to pick 3, and your opponent picks 3. And it's perfect. Like you get to use Pokemon that you wouldn't normally use. You get to rely on moves that you wouldn't normally use, and you have to like use your brain, which isn't something you have to do in Pokemon a lot.
Yeah, which is weird because there are difficulty spikes sometimes. I know there's certain trainers and stuff where it's like, oh my god,
Yeah,
once in a while, which generally is just you're unprepared because you don't have the right
well,
type.
at that point, it's just because you haven't caught the right type for the rock paper scissors mechanic.
That would be interesting though, because I feel like a somewhat level scaling design would work, but also like if you could have access to your full Pokemon roster, and I know you could just go to a PC, but obviously they're not leveled up. But if there was some sort of way where you could be like, okay, like for this gym, I want to use Geodude, and like I mean that you're gonna run into issues as far as leveling and stuff, but like just the ability to choose any Pokemon for any scenario would be interesting. Um, assuming that the difficulty was up like the Challenge Cup, Tim.
Right.
Um, but I don't know how that would work as far as leveling and stuff. Like maybe your lowest level on your starting 6, like everyone matches or something. That might make the game too easy too, because then you just have too many tools at your disposal. Is the Challenge Cup, do you use all 6, Tim, or is it you pick 3 for each battle?
well, you get 6 at the start of the Challenge Cup. I mean, again, the Challenge Cup is like a 8-round thing.
Okay.
It's you against a computer player.
But every
But
fight you use all 6, or you have to pick
you
3?
you have to pick 3, but you're picking your 3 based on seeing what your opponent's 6
Yeah.
are.
Like, do
And
you
if
think
they
that
pick
would help in the game?
I do think it would help.
Yeah.
Because just like I always said that, like it's funny going back to the original Pokemon games where literally I think the only person in the game who has 6 Pokemon is Gary or your rival. Maybe
You
there
mean
might
ass fart?
in fi-
there might be one or two more.
in the
but
Final Four, I thought they all had 6. Am I
No,
wrong on that?
they
No. I think
They do not. I
No.
don't think any of them do. Maybe
They all have
Lance,
5.
but it's just hilarious because like if you're supposed to be these like one of the 4 best trainers in the planet, you can't be bothered to make like level
Yeah.
up a 6th Pokemon in
It's
case
like no. I'm only the dragon trainer, and I only train 5
Yeah,
dragons.
it'd
I
be
don't train
funny if
6.
I'm trying to think of any other person's name. I'll just use Lance because I can't think of the other one. Like Lorelei, for instance. It'd be funny if her 6 Pokemon was like a Goldeen at level like 14. She's like, sorry, I'm like training that.
You're fighting Brock for the
That'd be
first
realistic.
time. Brock throws out his Geodude, and then Onyx, and all of a sudden he's like, boom, Clefairy, go. It's like, wait, whoa, you're Pewter City. That's not a rock type.
It's so interesting because even just that dialogue right there would be good. Like if Lorelei was just like, "Oh, by the way, sorry, I'm like trying this one out," and it's like a Goldeen at level 32 or something. Like it
It's
would
like,
be so
hold on.
unique and interesting.
That's some personality.
Yeah.
Hold on, Ash. Can I try something new? I know this is like really weird, but just work with me. Boom, Goldeen.
Like those little things would be so nice and just bring such life to the game. I don't remember if it was Sun and Moon or the one before it. I know Sun and Moon, like relationship wise, it seemed to develop the characters a little bit. What was the one where you watched fireworks and there was like a weird moment where you like
That
might have
was
kissed some like 10-year-old girl?
Why?
That was X and Y. Okay.
Yeah,
Because there
I
was a
think.
weird like romantic moment in that.
Yeah,
And I think that's heading in the right direction, but not enough. Like
it's not because the whole game, like I feel like this is just that they know that their formula has worked for this long, and it's the most successful
And it's gonna
franchise in
sell.
any
Yeah.
media form. So they're like, we can't deviate at all, even if it means like making just. These
Which
plastic
leads me to
cardboard
believe that they're
credits.
not gonna deviate very much in this latest entry. I can't imagine that they're gonna try anything where it seriously deviates outside of the norm, because they know this is what works. People are gonna buy it. It's on the Switch.
Yeah.
This is what they want.
Because it would be interesting. I think you could make it interesting if you had like a cast of like 20 or so characters that you would see in and out, and they kind of like, like imagine if the first trainer you run into, and I know they have the phones or whatever, and you can like call Trainer Joey, and he's like, my Rattata learned Hyper Fang. But like, it'd be cool if you kind of saw him throughout the game. I know Sun and Moon did that a little bit, and I know Black and White did that a little bit, where you have like 3 rivals, sort of.
But in Sun and Moon, your rival he wasn't even your rival. He was just like,
yeah, that was.
he's like,
terrible.
I lost, didn't I? Ha ha ha! I really
like,
suck.
Wow,
Ha,
I
ha,
have a
ha."
great attitude. Like, keep it up. And you're
Yeah,
like,
he was
"All
like,
right."
you would beat the shit out of him, and he's like, cool, dude. Thanks for beating me. I gotta get stronger. Bye.
Yeah, yeah. But it was,
He was
like
really upbeat. I kind
man.
of didn't like the fact that he was so upbeat about everything.
I miss Gary. Gary was good. He was just like an asshole.
I
but, like,
liked
a
Gary
friendly
because
asshole.
it made it easy to hate him because he was such an asshole.
Yeah,
Like, I wanted not like this kid in Sun and Moon, but I'm like, you're such a doof.
he's just like a doofy nice guy. He's like, my
Yeah.
dad's the chief, so I live a privileged life. Or I assume that was the social commentary that Pokemon
That's how I
was
read
into. So yeah, I don't know. Like I just wish. I don't know. I think I'm asking too much, but like, imagine if you saw the same people and they grew and their teams grew and the fights were hard. Like, I don't know. I think Tim is right in that the difficulty is a big issue in Pokemon.
Imagine if the starters were actually decent.
Like, what do you mean the starters?
Like in this,
Grookey?
like
You
in this
talking about
generation.
Grookey?
About design, right?
I'm talking about like if you looked at them and they didn't all inspire feelings of meh.
I like them. I think they're good. They're supposed to be kind of basic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but at the very least, they should be inspired. They don't look inspired. They look, they're
Grookey-
just like,
You ever seen a monkey with a
what can we
cinnamon
do? Grass
hair?
monkey. All right, cool. What about for the fire? Fire bunny. Okay, awesome. Mock it up. What does it look
Yeah, but
like?
that was
I don't even need to review.
in
Just
the first game.
oh.
It was like that. It was like, what if we have a dinosaur with a fire tail and one's just a turtle? Like
Yeah,
Squirtle
when
is
you
just a
look
turtle.
when you look at them, it was like, oh my god, these are awesome. Now it's just like, come on, guys, try
Grookey.
harder.
Grookey's my dude.
Wouldn't it be cool if there were no starters and it was just like they had some other way that you get your first Pokemon?
You
Yeah.
get this. You have to steal your first Pokemon.
That'd be weird.
I
If you
like this
played the bad
edgier.
guy.
Yeah. Oh
Yeah.
my god. Now it's already a better game. They're
No,
like,
if you
no,
just
you go to like
follow the
Professor.
show. In
You
the
go to
show,
Professor.
you catch a Pokemon and you deal with it.
Like, it's always like a tree name, right? So you go to Professor like Cherry Woods or something, and he's like, "All right, I'm here for my Pokemon," and he's like, "Oh no!" He gives you a mask and a crowbar, and he's like, "Go get your Pokemon."
Yeah. That'd be wild.
If
If you
I'm
played
on
for
board
Team
for that
Rocket,
game.
actually, that'd be sick. And you're the
I'm
bad
on.
guy.
I'm on board for that game. Give me that game where you have to steal your first Pokemon.
Like
You gotta like kneecap a dude and then take their Pokeball.
it would be cool if in the first one you started out in a like you could pick your region or something. So like depending on where you're from, it's like okay, go catch your first Pokemon, and you have to like if you pick this region, it'll probably be a water Pokemon. If you pick this region, it'll probably be rock or fighting or like something like that.
Oh, okay, I see.
And then
that
you,
would be
like,
kind of
take a
cool too. That would be like a new
training,
mechanic that
like-
I would actually. That it would be kind of cool. But you know what? The problem with the Pokemon company, and Game Freak, and I forget where I heard this, but one of the outlets that I listened to, they mentioned this. They have like a good idea for any number of games, and they always like implement it and then like take it away. They put a good idea in the game and then
Yeah.
take it away. I forget where I heard that.
It's because
but
they
when-
don't innovate; they just make a new evolution type. Like that's all they do, and then they design 150 new ones.
and then they give you a fire rabbit.
All right, tangent. Not really a tangent. I don't know. Tim actually said it before, but let's go deeper into it.
right.
Pokemon spin-off games. What's your favorite? Tim, you said Pokemon Stadium 2?
Yeah.
Okay,
Snap.
That's fair. Pokemon Snap. Okay,
Snap.
I figured that would come out.
Yeah. Take pictures of them Pikachu surfing.
You know what? It's weird that there isn't a Pokemon Snap for Switch. Like it would be perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfectly situated for that. It's the perfect console for it, and the fact that we haven't gotten it is a travesty.
Yeah.
Bowser, where's our Pokemon Snap?
I'm trying to think. I don't think I've played that many spin-off games. Mine would either be Snap or Stadium, I think. I never played any of the rescue dungeons or any of that.
Oh no, I haven't played it.
Yeah, Mystery Dungeon.
Mystery Dungeon, yeah, which I've heard is good, but I haven't.
Or Detective Pikachu. I haven't played that either.
I've seen somebody play that.
I mean,
and it's
Hey You
weird.
Pikachu?
Isn't there one called Detective Pikachu? There's
There's a movie called The Detective
no,
Pikachu.
but isn't there
That's based on
also
a game.
there's also a game called Detective Pikachu.
Yeah,
Wow.
it's like a
Well,
weird Phoenix Wright game.
Yeah.
If you actually look it up, it's weird because when I saw the Detective Pikachu movie, I was concerned, and then I was like, wait, like it's Ryan Reynolds like being a smart aleck, and in the game, it's like it's similar. It's like Pikachu's like an asshole, kind of like. He like makes jokes at your expense about you not getting ladies and stuff. That's like what I saw.
Which, by the way, first of all, can we talk about like how that second? Have you guys seen the second trailer for Detective Pikachu the movie?
I want to say yes, but there's been like 4 trailers. I feel like, so I don't really know which one's which. But I've seen the new major one.
That's the one that shows Mewtwo.
Yes.
Yes, that's the one I'm talking about. That movie had no right looking as good as it does. When it first was announced, I was like, this is going to be a terrible, terrible idea. First trailer comes out, I'm like, yes, I'm on board. Second trailer, I'm like, give it to me now. This movie looks so good.
It looks okay. I'm skeptical. There was a mini trailer or mini spotlight that came in between those two, where it ends where Pikachu like Mr. Mime's like miming them answers, and Pikachu's like, all right, I've had enough, like say it. And Mr. Mime's like, what? And he's like, just say it. Like, and it's so adorably cute the way he says just say it, but he's angry. And the fact that it's like a Mr. Mime, like I don't know why I lost it. I'm going to see that movie. I have Alamo Movie Pass, so there's no reason not to, but like,
I'm absolutely gonna go see that movie.
I'm confused by it overall.
I need to know what that movie's about. I mean, I know what it's about, but I need to see it.
Like Jigglypuff looks disgusting.
Jigglypuff looks so scary.
Um,
He looks yellow. He doesn't look pink.
like he's hairy in a weird way.
Yeah,
in a really
I
weird way.
didn't think I imagined Jigglypuff more as like a marshmallowy texture, not a
Yeah.
hairy texture.
Yeah, he's really weird.
I
I
don't
thought
like
he would be
that.
like pink and fuzzy, like
Yeah,
velvet.
like a pink marshmallow, but
Yeah.
now he's like yellow and hairy, like I don't
Yeah.
know, something that you find that's yellow and hairy.
Jigglypuff would be dope in real life though, because if you were tired, you could just be like, "Yo, sing, boom."
Dude, no more melatonin. I'd be like Jigglypuff.
Like,
You know what I
a
need.
nap. Sing it up.
Yeah,
Be instant.
I want to feel refreshed. Here's a microphone. Get to work.
Have any of you karaoke the Pokemon theme song in a bar? Yeah or nay?
I mean,
I've done it in my car.
Yeah, so have I. Like that. That is like an amazing song, right? I'm not wrong in that.
Oh yeah.
no, not in a bar, but the wife and I, we went out to a video game concert out in Molloy College a couple of months ago, and they closed out the concert by bringing out the guy who sings the original Pokemon theme song.
I forget his
And-
name. I know his name.
And then like they had it was like a symphonic concert. It was Video Games Live, Tony Tallarico's thing. And they closed out the concert by doing the Pokemon theme song, and I'm like singing at the top of my lungs. And, like Allie's like videotaping the song, and all you hear is like me going in the background. I want to be the very best.
I've played that behind the bar at Growlers on late nights occasionally, and it like every time it's incredible and it kills. I'm trying to think of anything else Pokemon. The movie, like remember that? Did you guys see that in theaters?
If you didn't cry when Ash turns to stone, you're heartless.
Dude, I thought it was like kind of.
I cried when I didn't get the Pokemon card that I wanted for going.
What'd you end up with?
I mean, that
remember
goes as good.
You don't remember?
He doesn't remember what he wanted, but he knows he cried that he didn't get it.
Dude, I gamed the system. My mom bought, so she bought 3 tickets.
She
'cause
bought
she saw
all
it
of
with
them.
us. So we had an extra one, and I actually found one on the floor. Like someone dropped one. So I like traded and stuff. And then my mom took us to another movie, but bought Pokemon tickets. Like it was like the next week. And
That's
we just
the
like went
coolest move ever.
we just went to the other movie. Like it was boss. So I ended up with all 4 of them actually. There was male carrier Dragonite. There was an Electabuzz, like a weird Electabuzz, some sort of Pikachu, like a surfing Pikachu or something. Was the last one Mew or Mewtwo? I don't remember.
These were like promotional cards that they gave out for the tickets.
Yeah, and it was like a big deal because that was like full swing of the card game. I can't believe we haven't mentioned the card game yet. Has anyone actually played it?
Not really, but I played the what was it called? The Pokemon TCG Game Boy game.
That's my favorite spinoff right there. I forgot about that
That's
game.
a really good game.
That game's amazing and it's difficult.
I think I might have played the card game. I don't know if I played it correctly.
A lot of people didn't actually.
I'm pretty sure they didn't, and I'm pretty sure that I'm in that camp also because I thought that I was playing it right, and I'm pretty sure with my friends I was playing with thought we were playing right.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, I'm pretty sure we were terribly wrong.
So the only time I actually really played the card game was in college because my friend Keegan like said he still had a deck, and I like made one because I found my old cards. So we used to put on like the red
You
and
had
blue
Pokemon
battle
battles?
theme. Like we would put that on and drink beer. But yeah, the trading card game for Game Boy was amazing. I forgot how good that was.
I didn't
like-
play for Game Boy.
like
I
you
didn't
could-
even know they had one.
Or it's Game Boy Color, I think. But you could go back and play that now, and it'd still be great. I feel like, which is weird that they haven't made more. All right. Any other mediums? I don't know. There's like a manga and stuff, but I haven't like read that.
Yeah.
Did either of you guys watch the Red and Blue series that they came out with?
Oh yes,
I remember being
on
excited
YouTube.
for that and then never actually watching it because I heard it was really short.
It
Yeah,
is,
I
it
did
is,
the
but
same
it's
thing.
really good actually.
It's like it's the game in
Yeah.
anime form, right? And it's like
Yeah,
more
it's
serious or
essentially- It's
something.
essentially like it's a retelling of the game, but it's done really well. But
And-
then they add like mega evolutions at the end.
Oh.
I remember a clip of like Charmander crying for like 30 seconds straight, and it was like pretty
Yeah.
dark sounding.
I remember seeing like Squirtle get like pile drived, and like it was like, oh my god, that looks inappropriately like violent.
Squirtle pile driver right now.
Yeah, it was rough. I gotta watch that. I've been meaning to watch that, and like I just forgot about it until right now, basically.
No, it's good, but there's some really like cheesy moments there where it's like, are you trying to tell me something? Like, wait, are you telling me that if I do this, you're gonna mega evolve? Is that what you're trying to tell me? I'm like,
Ugh.
no, he's not. Like, how could you have gathered that from
Dude,
that
the
look he gave
drama
you?
is always the weird drama where it's like Bulbasaur doesn't want to evolve because he's a tough guy is like the weirdest. It's like, why is that drama? What does that matter?
In the anime, the episode, the cartoon, the episode where Pikachu fights Lieutenant Surge's Raichu,
Yeah,
and then he's like what you're talking about just now, where he gives him the Thunderstone.
yeah, and
He's
they're
like,
like
no,
crying.
Pikachu saying he doesn't want to evolve and beat him because he wants to beat him on his own. I'm like, how the fuck do you get any of that?
Yeah, like why don't Pokemon just write? Like they understand things. Why don't they just write down stuff?
I mean, in Pikachu's defense, it was Meowth who was translating, but also, how does Meowth understand Pikachu?
Dude,
I
there
don't
was a
think
whole.
Ash was actually translating for that one. I think Ash just like understands him at that point. And I remember there being like a 15 to 20-second long clip of Pikachu just going Pika 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 Pika.
Yeah,
Pika,
and
Pika,
Ash
Pika.
was like,
And then Ash is just like, you don't want to fight, like you don't want to evolve.
like you don't
And
want the
at
Thunderstone.
that point, like I'm fine with it. I
Sure.
think the funnier aspect of it to me was that clearly the reason why I didn't want to evolve is because Pikachu is way more marketable than Raichu.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah,
at the heart
Pikachu's
of
way
things,
cuter.
Like,
which is,
he-
and then
he
he
would've
uses
stomped
like
the floor if
agility.
he just took that Thunderstone.
Because
but-
Brock is like, well, Pikachu learns agility at level 20, but if you evolve early, like that was a weird game reference that happened there.
Yeah, Pikachu uses agility. A
Also,
lot.
the Go West Young Meowth episode is incredible, where he learns to talk. I don't know.
Oh
if you
yeah,
guys,
where he learns to talk to impress a chick.
I think it's called Go West Young Meowth. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, the Persian isn't even impressed.
Yeah,
The saddest thing in the
he's
world.
like, I learned English for you.
Yeah,
And
that's
she's
pretty
like, yeah,
bold.
whatever. No, I didn't ask you to
don't
learn
like
English.
Like they could just give Pokemon like a button and it's like, here's yes or no. Like be
Pikachu,
so
do you
much
want to
easier.
evolve? No.
No.
Pikachu, are you hungry? Yes, yes,
Like,
yes,
easy.
yes.
Easy peasy.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else to add? I don't know.
Yeah, I want to get Pokemon Gun.
Pokemon Gun. You know what's funny is that's the green one with Grookey.
Yo, Grookey's gonna pop a cap.
Good little Grookey in there.
Grookey's gonna be like,
He
yo,
takes
Grookey.
the cinnamon stick out and like packs his musket with it or something.
Grookey, use 9 attack. Pat, pat, pat.
It hit 3 times.
It's like Grookey double taps Score Bunny. Score Bunny's dead.
Oh my god. No, he's got bandages. You forget.
He's got
They hold the blood in.
this.
So favorite games. I mean, what red or blue for you, Berto?
Yeah, I'm a.
Tim,
I'm a
are
purist.
you kind of the same or?
I'd say so. I mean, I would say, even though it's a spin-off, Coliseum 2 is probably or Pokemon
It
Stadium 2.
beats
Sorry,
the main line?
I would say in terms of playability, yeah, but Gen 1.
Yeah.
is
I
favorite.
actually, I think I really liked Silver when I played it. I know I didn't finish it, but I played a lot of it. But something about Silver, it was like there was a lot of like forest, and I just liked it because of that. Like it felt really woodsy. I think just because it was a Game Boy Color game instead of not
Instead of like the
but-
puke green.
yeah, because Yellow was basically an upgraded like Red or Blue.
Yeah,
And Silver was like the true Game Boy Color game. So
yeah, it was.
but yeah, I don't know. Any other topics to add on Pokemon? I think
Gotta wait and see what that Sword and Shield looks like.
Sword and Shield. Yeah, I'm gonna get it. I know I'm going.
Oh yeah,
to.
no, I'm totally gonna get it.
And hopefully this time I can just ignore Nature's because they ruin the game for me every time.
Don't think about it too much. Just and then like if they add something new, don't think about that either.
The last game I played, the Sun and Moon, there was a jellyfish Pokemon I really wanted. His name was like Marina or something, and she was kind of rare. And like I was trying to catch a nature that wasn't just awful, and I couldn't. Like I did it for 40 minutes, and I'm like, I'm done with this game, and I just stopped playing the game altogether.
See, I had a similar story, except it was in the beginning. I wanted to get a shiny Rowlet, so I went through the intro cinematics, which is like a 10
wait,
to
you were
50
trying to
minute-
get a shiny?
off the bat. It's possible to do, but it's like a 1 in like 500,000.
Yeah, isn't that like an
percent.
insanely difficult thing?
There
Yeah.
are way more efficient ways to get shinies, at least for Pokemon that are breedable.
No, but this is what's one of the starters.
Right. You can breed the starters, though, right?
I think so.
Can you?
Eventually, the thing is, it's all eventual
No.
because you need to like have access to like dittos and shit, like to do it efficiently.
So I tried to do that for a bit, and I was like restarting my game constantly, and my wife was like, "Just play the fucking game,"
Yeah,
essentially, and I'm like, "Fine." And then eventually I did.
I remember me and my brother back in the day link cabled each other
Yo,
Bulbasaur, Squirtle, Charmander, and it took forever
respect.
because you had to deliver the parcel for Professor Oak every time, so it took like years. And my brother named the Charmander something stupid, and I was so pissed. Like he named it like dumbass or something. Like
dumbass, go, dumbass, use fire spin.
And I was like, dude, you got to do it again. And he was like, no way, dude, no way. Like,
and I remember in X and Y and maybe Sun and Moon. Whenever I was doing that for somebody, I would just name the Pokemon Butt Daddy.
Butt Daddy, that's incredible.
Just like annoying enough so that people will be like, well, I have the Pokemon now.
Yeah, I need this Pokemon, but
it's like,
yeah, I think you can rename them in new games, but not traded ones. I don't think, right?
No, you can't.
That's incredible.
Butt Daddy, I love it.
Butt Daddy.
Butt Daddy fainted.
Butt Daddy. So now, Tim, you gotta name your squabble or whatever Butt Daddy in the new one.
Sure.
Let's wrap it up, I guess.
Let's do it.
Anyone else? Anything else? Pokemon? With that, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up. I believe we're on episode 21. This is
yeah, we
Pokemon Sword and Shield and Gun and knives and stuff.
Pokemon Knife.
Pokemon murders.
Pokemon.
Thank you so much for listening. As always, if you're still with us, you can check us out at splitscreencynics.com. There's really nothing on there, but there's some episodes. Instagram, splitscreencynics dot Instagram, whatever. There is another reminder. Game Club game is going to be, unfortunately, Anthem for probably a month from now. So if you did end up with a copy for whatever reason, try it out. Let us know. If you didn't, ask us questions, etc., etc. Please get at us on that. That's always fun for the Game Club games. Berto, you got any plugs? Ooh, wait. Twitch.tv/Garrett gets into if you want to see me play stuff. I'm playing Spider-Man right now, but in the future I'll play Anthem and stuff, I'm sure. Berto?
Yeah, you can find me on pretty much all social media at Albie the One and Only, ALBIETHA, number 1 NONLY. Garrett already gave you he hit you up with the socials for Split Screen Cynics, and also we're gonna be at PAX East in about 3 weeks' time. So if you're at PAX East, come and look us up. We're gonna be there. So yeah, find us, hit us up, and play some games.
And Tim, you want to play us out with a shout out?
Sure. You can find me at 271-9663. I'll be at the phone.
Whoa.
I'll answer any.
Dude, that's not even okay. I'm sure somebody inherited that phone number. That is my old phone number from my house phone in Croton, which, if you look at the letters, is actually 271 wood. Just so you know, makes it easier.
Nice little mnemonic device.
But yeah, if you want to call some random person, check it out. I guess you didn't give the area code, so
I didn't, but you said where it was, so someone put this together.
Well, whoever you are, when you hear our podcast, we're so sorry. What if it's Doug Bowser somehow, and we already are ruining his life? Yeah. So that's it. Episode 21. Thanks so much for listening. Bye. Keep on gaming.
Peace.
Take it easy.